Hello, class. We're about to start lesson 5, fractions and decimal equivalencies. So what we're going to do in this lesson, like we have done in the other lessons, we're going to skip over this initial part here and go straight to the problems, and then I will explain them as we go along to cover this whole lesson and what is needed. Okay, so it says practice 5. Solve, when possible, use fraction and decimal equivalents to make the work easier. You may use a calculator in questions 5 and 6. So we will be using the calculator only for questions 5 and 6. Okay, so now it says number 1. During a 25% off sale, store clerks find the amount of the discount by multiplying a regular price by 0.25. What is the discount on an item with a regular price of $80? So what we would do, we would take our, because we're trying to figure out the discount, we would take our $80 and multiply it by 0.25. Now remember, we multiplied decimals before, so we would act like that decimal isn't there. So we'll take 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 8 is 40. Add a 0 here. 2 times 0 is 0, and 2 times 8 is 16. So we will add this together. This would be 0, 0. This would be 10, carry a 1. So we had 2,000. Now, remember, we go back and count how many digits are behind the decimal is 2. So it must be 2 digits behind the decimal here. So this is $20. So your answer for problem number 1 would be $20. So that is B. So number 1 is B. All right. So now we move on to problem number 2. Problem number 2, it says at Linton Products, 3/10 of the workers are in the company's ride share program. If there are 480 workers, which of the following expressions could be used to find the number in a ride share program? Now, if you notice, we're given a fraction of 3/10 and we're given the amount of workers of 480. So we're trying to find out how many people are in a ride share program. We notice that this has to be multiplication because it's 400. It says 3/10 of the workers. The word of means multiplication. So it's 3/10 times 480, but you notice we put the 480 first. So we have 480 times whatever 3/10 is. So that would get rid of B, that would get rid of D. So we have to see whether or not it's A or C. So to find that out, we would take 3 divided by 10. So we'll take 10 into 3, and we could put 0.0. Bring up our decimal. 10 doesn't go into 3, so that's 0. 10 goes into 30 3 times, and we'll have no remainder. So our answer here is 0.3, so that would give us C. So it'll be 480 times 0.3, which is C. So now we go to number 3. It says Sharon is using a calculator to find out how many hours she has spent on a certain job. She divides, and her display reads 4 point, and we got a lot of sixes behind here. Assuming her calculations are correct, how many hours did she spend on the job? Okay, first of all, we know that one half is the same thing as 0.5. We know that from previous lessons. So since we know 1/2 is 0.5, we know that the fraction has to be greater than 1/2 in order to have 0.666 and so on. So we could look here. We notice all of the whole numbers are 4, which is good. Well, D is 46, so we know that we got to get rid of D. So D is out. So we look here. We know 1/6 is less than 1/2. So we would get rid of A as well. So these two values, 2/3 and 6/7, are both larger than a half. So now we have to figure out which one would give us this decimal and repeating sixes. So I'm going to start with the 2/3. So we'll do 2/3 and rewrite this as division. So we have 3 and the 2 goes 0 times. 3 goes into 20 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. And then that gives us 2. We add a 0. Now if you notice, this gives us another 20. So 3 goes into 20 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. And we're going to keep repeating it. So our answer here would be the 4 and 2/3. So it's 4 and 2/3, which is equal to B. Yeah, we don't even have to go to the 6/7. Okay, now we go here to problem 4. It says a gourmet candy company charges the following prices per pound. How much would a customer pay for 1.5 pounds of peanut brittle? So what we would do, this is multiplication. So we have peanut brittle, which is $12, and we're going to multiply that by 1.5. So go ahead and multiply. 5 times 2 is 10. Bring on our 0, carry our 1. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6. We add a 0. 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 1 is 1. So we add these up. This would be 0, 8, 1. So we have 180. So what we have to do is this here. We have to count how many digits we have behind the decimal here, which is 1. So it's 18.0. But we know with our money, we do 2 digits behind the decimal. So we add a 0 here, and it'll be $18, which is C. And that is your final answer for number 4. Now, remember with problems 5 and 6, we were told that we could use our calculator. So we're about to use our calculator. Now you all remember that link I sent you all. So you all could use that link, or you could use the handheld calculator that you have. Okay, class, with this calculator, for some reason I cannot do it side by side how I wanted to, but you can still see the calculator and you can see problems 5 and 6. Okay, number 5, it says at 1 p.m., the amount of rain in a rain gauge is 1.125 inches. At 3 p.m., the gauge holds 1.875 inches. What fraction of an inch of rain fell between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m.? Okay, so we have to do some subtraction. So let's go ahead and do the subtraction. We'll do the 1.875 minus 1.125 and press enter. So we enter these values, we get 0.75. And if you notice here, we don't have that decimal, but they want us to write it as a fraction. So what's nice about this is with your calculator, you could quickly figure out what 0.75 is as a fraction by pressing let's see, n over, well, no. Okay, yeah, so we couldn't press the n over d because that would just give us a fraction we have to set up. So what you would have to do after you type this in, now if you press the n over d like I had showed, clear this out. Let me just show that. Clear this out and redo the problem. 1.875 minus 1.125. And press enter. Okay, so we have this. Now, to get the fraction from the decimal, you will press second, and then you'll press this key right here, this table key. So this is telling you that we're going to take this and make this into a fraction. And we'll press enter, and it gives us 3/4, which is B. So your answer here would be B. Now, we press clear. Now we go to number 6. It says a steel rod 3 meters in length is cut into 8 equal pieces. What is the length in meters of each piece? Now, if it's cut into 8 equal pieces, that means that it's divided. So we would take 3 divided by 8 and press enter. And it gives us what is the length in meters of each piece is 0.375, which is C. So we're actually done. And now I will upload this to YouTube and have a wonderful day.